I recently visited an area where everything was just named so oddly, and it almost for a moment ruined my experience. But I didn't let it because it was an opportunity, a challenge for me to go beyond the Matrix signposts. I mean, how many national monuments and beautiful sacred sites are named after the devil? Well, the Matrix just really wants to invert everything, make it less than it is, and make what is less more than it is. So, we, as humans, it's just our job to learn how to decode all of this stuff. This has been such a cool experience, I want to be honest, because we are using our gifts on this channel. You guys are so psychic, so telepathic that our communication is out of this world, literally. So, I just wanted to touch base on something that I feel will be beneficial. I I recently posted something saying it's never too late to focus on your light, and I think I hashtagged it like sovereign souls. And yes, I got a lot of telepathic hits saying that, along the lines, I can't afford the light, or I can't afford to be free. I don't have enough money to be sovereign. So that implies, debt and people not wanting to live completely off the grid, not having the resources. And I understand that. I totally know that this is a process, and it's a process that we must trust. It's like an evolution of our soul emancipating from this planetary constraint. We have the hive mind that really, does a good job at mentally enslaving a great deal of the population on this planet. And that's what I wanted to bring up, is that in order to become truly sovereign, and I'm obviously not there yet, I'm learning myself, but this is something that Spirit's showing me, is that we must be comfortable in the uncomfortable. We must go beyond what is taught to us, what is being shown. Because what is being presented by the 3D matrix, that hive mind, are simply instructions. They're subliminal messages encoding our subconscious mind to act and be and behave in a certain way. And that's why we must be comfortable in that uncomfortable feeling of not quite knowing what to do. Now, for an example, the hive mind is really telling the human collective, that you got to live in a house. You really should be paying some money to live. If you're not, then you're obviously you're doing something weird. You're going against the grain. Now, for us to be able to become sovereign, we must go further than that. We must be able to question. We must allow ourselves to think outside of that box. And another pun. And it's a way of kind of stretching the boundaries of our own creativity, our own reality. Another thing I'm really learning about this journey is it's a lot having to do with kind of like a shedding, a letting go of, a drawing back. It's almost like learning to live within your means. Because, when we watch TV, or we have commercials or any type of advertisements put in our face, they're basically telling us, you need this. You're not complete. You're not whole. You need this. So once we kind of step back from that propaganda, we can learn that actually we can live off a lot less than we thought. Now, I know some of you are like, oh God, I'm clicking out here. Yeah, a lot of us, we just want to be comfortable. I get it. But to be able to evolve into that sovereign state, like I said, it takes being able to face being uncomfortable. And that doesn't have to be for a long time. It can be until you become stronger within yourself. You acquire more resources. You become more debt free. I feel like once we get past that barrier, then we can go into areas of more comfort. We can then integrate more luxury or whatever it is that the 3D matrix had entranced you in. You can then integrate that back into your experience once you get to the other side. Now, I listened to another teacher, I think her name is Magenta Pixie. She talks about the inversion. The inversion is basically what the matrix is trying to do. It's trying to invert divine light and trying to make it into something opposite of what it is. It's trying to invert it. So what we're here to do is see that inversion as it is and find that seed of light within the inversion, because God is everywhere. God is in everything. I mean, even if you listen to music that's being produced by, the industry, and we all know who runs that industry, you can still find frequencies. You can still find lyrics or light within that artist. You see what I mean? So there's going to be a seed or a gem of light within the inversion, within the 3D matrix. But we have to go beyond it to be able to integrate it so that we can then truly become sovereign of it. We become free of it. We're no longer entranced in it. We're not it. We become greater than it. No longer of this world, but in it. So it is a very interesting phenomenon what we're doing. We're really taking back our rights. We're really observing, consciously observing, mindfully what we're creating, and we're asking questions. Does this serve me? Does this liberate me? Does this allow me to feel more love? That's what we really have to ask ourselves. We can't get stuck in those traps any longer. We have to evolve more and go furthermore into our true light.